Welcome to Reese Rue's Adventure. We're going to continue on with Camel Without a Hump. I thought I'd tell you how I got the name of this title. My church found out that I like to paint pictures, and so they asked me to paint a life-size nativity scene, and then we're going to cut the faces out so people could stick their heads in there and be different characters, Joseph and Mary, and there was a sheep and a shepherd and 3 wise men, and one was down on his knees, so I could make them different sizes. But they turned out pretty good. I'm sorry I don't have any pictures of them, but anyway, we're going to continue on with Camel Without a Hump. Alright, the continuing story of Camel Without a Hump. Every day, Savannah Rose watched Sarah closely as she worked with her wool. She turned it into thread and next placed it into dyes of different colors. Then the wool was laid out to dry. Then Sarah sat at another contraption that Autumn called a loom. Sarah carefully wove the thread in and out. Soon a beautiful design could be seen taking shape on a small blanket. Sarah turned Savannah Rose wool into a beautiful blanket, the most beautiful blanket that anyone had ever seen. Abraham kept rubbing it against his cheek, saying how soft it was. It was the softest blanket he had ever felt, and the most beautiful. Abraham was sure they could get a lot of money for such a wonderful blanket, even though it was a smaller blanket. There was a lot of noise on the road. Autumn told Savannah Rose that people from all over were going toward Bethlehem to pay their taxes. Savannah Rose could ask what taxes were, but she had no idea. She just heard Abraham and Sarah talk about it, and that Bethlehem was a long way off. One evening, just before dinner time, a young man with his wife sitting on a donkey's back stopped at the farm. They introduced themselves as Mary and Joseph. Mary was expecting a baby. They asked if they could spend the night in the stable. Mary was very tired. Abraham and Sarah knew there was something special about this young couple. Abraham and Sarah invited them to stay in the house. They had an extra room that was their son's. Joseph told the farmers that he did not want to make anyone not be able to sleep in their own room. Abraham explained that their son had passed away when he was about 8 years old. They would be honored if the young couple would stay in his room. Abraham took the donkey, fed and watered him, then placed him in a stall in the stable. Sarah hurried around and made them a meal and made sure they made sure that the expected mother ate a fine dinner. As they sat and ate, Sarah asked about the young woman's child she was expecting. Abraham and Sarah kept giving each other curious looks. They found out that the young couple were very poor and that this was their first child. They, like everyone else, were on their way to Bethlehem to pay their taxes. Sarah also knew it would not be much longer before she gave birth to the child. Sarah nodded her head as she looked over at her husband, and Abraham knew exactly what she meant. The next day, when the couple was getting ready to leave, Abraham held the donkey while Mary was helped onto the donkey's back by her husband. Sarah took the beautiful soft blanket down from the shelf where she placed items for sale. Sarah, with the soft, beautiful blanket in her hand, walked over to the young couple to say goodbye. Sarah took the precious blanket and Sarah took the precious blanket and wrapped it around the expected woman's shoulders. This is for you and your child, Sarah told the young woman. When Mary and Joseph tried to explain that they could not afford such a wonderful blanket, Abraham held up his hand and told them this was a special gift for a special baby. From that day forward, the animals never made fun of Savannah Rose again, for they also knew that the child the young woman carried was a special child. That the wool from Savannah Rose was special because she was not a camel after all. She was an alpaca. Well, thanks for listening to Camel Without a Hump. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I will continue on with another story tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it. Love you all. And remember to have fun. Thank you.